Hello everyone, this is Renault, and today, or at least with this upload, we are not doing a Spelunky daily challenge or something else. We are doing a dun 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 drama video. Once again, focusing on Zoe Quinn. Now, the last video I did showed that she was getting writing a Marvel series and then a IDW one shot with the Addams Family. And I pointed out how this is very problematic because it shows that she's doing things even if what she's doing is incompetent. I talked about the notion of kicked upstairs, where people who are generally incompetent keep getting promoted and keep getting appointments and that sort of thing, and how it was connected to the worst president we've ever had, James Buchanan, and he had similar experiences, and Hillary Clinton also had similar experience. She did lots of stuff. She didn't do anything competently, but she kept getting work because of who she was, not necessarily because of what she was doing. And that's, once again, appears to be the case with Zoe Quinn, who was, in addition to getting I'm sorry, not Marvel, she was writing a book for DC, sorry. But Zoe Quinn, she's just got announced earlier today, but that she's going to be writing a new spin-off off of Batman and Superman. You can see for yourself Zoe Quinn to write DC Comics Batman and Superman spin-off, The Infected Deathbringer. Now, like I mentioned before, she just keeps getting work, despite the fact that what she does is incompetently done. She was working on a Vertigo series. What was it called? It doesn't really matter. The point was, she was part of a series of just horrible Vertigo books, and those books were so bad that they actually just killed Vertigo. And so, again, not only is she continuing to get work, DC continues to give her work. So, again, let's go into this. She's going to be writing this series here. And I'm sorry if I'm a little bit flustered. I had to just start this up right away as soon as I saw it, because this is ridiculous. So she's going to be writing this series, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is because she actually recently responsible, indirectly, I can't say she's directly, but she was indirectly responsible for someone killing themselves, and she's indirectly responsible for a suicide, a Mr. Alec Holowka. And so she made some accusations against him that were very likely false, where she accused him of being this person who put his fingers up her naughty bits and then kind of carried her around like a bowling ball. Now, if those accusations sound pretty ridiculous, they should be, because just the physicality of that happening is just not practically impossible. But furthermore, the actual information that's come out about who Alec Holowka was doesn't really fit. And so when this individual committed suicide, it turns out that Alec Holowka and Zoe Quinn had past relationships together. And so when he killed himself, it was kind of a tragedy for everyone. Now, in case you didn't know, Alec Holowka was the writer and co-writer and composer for Night in the Woods, indie game that received some pretty good reviews. It's not really my taste, but I can respect it for what it is. I actually really enjoy indie games in general, as opposed to AAAs, etc., etc. But anyway, she made these allegations against him, and as usual with these kind of things and the circles he was running in, his friends abandoned him. And he was already someone who was mentally unstable. And so what's really shocking is that his own family abandoned him as well after these allegations. So he got dogpiled after these allegations took place. And eventually he committed suicide. But recently it turns out, when it comes to the accusations that were launched against Zoe Quinn, or not accusations, but when the information about Zoe Quinn and their relationship came up, it turns out that it was actually Alec Haloka who was the one who was getting abused. He was the one who was getting assaulted, verbally abused, emotionally manipulated, emotional abuse. So the Quartering did an excellent video, and also Ethan Van Sciver also did an excellent video. They both have excellent videos on how in the DM messages, uh, it just reveals that she was the one who was abusing him. Her accusations became much less credible as more information about their relationship comes out. And Alec Haloka was someone who was deeply in love with her, but she did not particularly come across as caring about him at all. And there's been a lot of discrepancy. Ethan Van Sciver and the Quartering both did excellent videos. Check them both out at either the Quartering on YouTube or Comic Artist Pro Secrets on YouTube. But this isn't necessarily about her being completely just lacking in credibility when she makes these accusations. This is the fact that she keeps getting work again, more so, at an escalating pace. When it comes to the whole falling upwards deal, this is a textbook example of someone who fails upwards, where she's just a horrible person. She fails upwards and keeps getting work. Now, one of the things I do want to mention when it comes to the comic book industry, unlike other industries, is because the comic book industry is pretty much subsidized by larger studios, DC by Warner Brothers, Marvel by Disney, you don't ever really get fired. Your career doesn't end when you're a bad artist, if you're a bad colorist, if you're a bad writer. You will always find work as long as you're in the right political circles. So that's the situation here with Zoe Quinn. So she's gotten this. I'm not sure if is this a. Sorry, I just jumped right into this. Is this a spin-off series? Oh my gosh, go away. Sorry, I hate it when you get updates in the middle of doing a video. So she's doing this series, despite the fact that all these accusations have gone out. Zoe Quinn was interviewed by the police. The police spoke to her. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that it leads to charges, because there have been situations where someone was emotionally abused and manipulated and committed suicide, but then the people who were encouraging them, etc., just never faced any charges, and so it's really awful. Now, when it comes to this series, this is the problem with comics in general, and this is why the comics industry is dying. Because you've got people like Zoe Quinn, who had an awful Vertigo series, who killed off the Vertigo series for being so awful. But she's getting more work. You see writers like, who was their writer for America? Gabby Rivera. She keeps getting work. The artist for that guy, Robbie Rodriguez, he keeps getting work. In fact, Robbie Rodriguez, not only is his art kind of terrible, but he's also very slow. He's so slow, in fact, that an entire series had to be just discarded completely because, he was spending too much time on Twitter. And I feel really bad for the writer who was going to write that series, but Robbie Rodriguez was spending all of his time on Twitter complaining about people who are engaging in wrongthink, and the series got canceled. And so you like this, where Zoe Quinn, despite being a horrible person, who is a terrible writer, who's responsible for multiple failures and people killing themselves, just gets work at Marvel, DC, IDW. And anyway, if you want to see a textbook example of why the comics book industry is dying, look no further than DC's Marvel and who they hire, like this situation here with Zoe Quinn. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I just had to get a video out as soon as I saw this, And I don't necessarily do drama videos too often, but this is ridiculous, and I had to say something. Anyway, hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.